Welcome again to another beautiful day and another wonderful garden-wise adventure. Today, a little bit later, we're going to work on my summer cleanup for my yard. But first, I'm going to go through and show you what I look for and how I decide what needs to be cleaned up. And then a little bit later, when it cools off, we'll go through and do that maintenance. When I had a landscape maintenance company, I would generally go through and do 3 cleanups per year. We'd do the spring cleanup, which if you do it properly and do it the way I like to do it, is a very small cleanup. I also do a summer cleanup, which tends to be a bit larger than the spring cleanup. And then the largest cleanup for me is in the fall. So it's July, there are a lot of flowers that are done blooming, and a lot of the cleanup that I do is some deadheading and some weeding. So let's go through and I'm going to show you what I do. The first thing we're going to look at is my beautiful chaste tree. And I will link a video to my explanation of what a chaste tree is. But it's absolutely glorious, full of bloom, and it does not need to be cleaned up right now. I generally prune this in the winter, as late as I can, because it has seeds that form that are medicinal in value. So I do like to gather those seeds. So I won't be cleaning up the chaste tree, but one thing that I will be cleaning up are my sedums. I've heard that there are better varieties of sedum. These do not rebloom well for me. They're the May-night, and they end up looking ragged by the end of the year. So I'm going to tear all of my salvia out. I said sedum, not salvia. But I'm going to tear all of my salvia out, and we'll try replanting next year with a better variety. In the fall, I will also clean up my black-eyed Susan. Right now, they're just beginning to bloom. And next to them are my iris, which are still looking beautiful this time of year. Last year, the grasshoppers got to them and they were extremely ragged, so I cut them back by half. I will probably cut those back in the fall. The one plant that I will be cutting back are my lavenders. I have a lot of lavenders and they're huge. And to try to do them by hand is just way too time consuming. So I'm going to be using my hedger. And I may have to tear out some of my lilacs and replant them next year, because as you can see, they're old, they're big, and they're starting to get woody. There's very little green left. So these do, as they get older, tend to need to be replaced. I don't know if I'm going to be ready to replace them again next year, so we're going to cut them back and see what it looks like. Another plant that I should have cut back earlier was my catmint. It has started a second bloom even though I didn't cut out the old blooms. And so I will wait until late fall to cut this one back. This bed, there's a little bit of weeding to be done, but the thing that needs to be cut back the most are my daisies, my snow-capped daisies. I'm just going to cut these back by half. They will not rebloom, but it'll make it look a lot tidier. Everything else in this bed is looking pretty good. So none of the rest of it really needs to be cut back. So we move on to this bed. All of the lavender here will be cut back. And my lilies are going to be cut back by half. At the end of the year, I'll cut them all the way back. My daylilies are doing really well. I'll just go through and see if there's any stems that need to be pulled out. For example, the stems right here. This is a reblooming daylily. This one's called Happy Returns. And it does rebloom if you pull the stems out, so we'll clean that out. We'll do a little bit of weeding. We've got my beautiful weeping cherry, and its branches are really long. So we're going to go through and we're going to cut those back, and I'll show you how to do that. Now that we've gone through what we need to do, let's get to work. Okay, well, it's much cooler now in the evening, so I'm going to see how much I can get done on this cleanup. Now with the lavender, we're only taking it down to where the first set of leaves starts, so only the flower stalks is coming off. Let's show you the finished project. a little tired. But as you can see, I took it down to the first set of leaves, which isn't very far from the end of the branches. So this wonderful lilac that is so big and old needs to be taken out and redone. So let's move on to the lilies. So as I said in the first part of my video, when I cut back lilies, I cut them back by half. So let's get these taken care of. Okay, the lilies are done. The salvia that was a mess is pulled. This area looks pretty clean. Let's go look what these lilies look like. So as you can see, I cut them back by about half. At the end of the year, I'll cut them to the ground. Now let's focus on the daylilies. I'm going to pull the old stalks out, and then I'm going to start on the cherry tree. I'm just going to cut all the branches to the level of the ground. So the way I cut these branches is I just grab a handful of them and cut them off evenly. The sunlight is waning and so is my energy, and I'm going to have to finish this another day. But if you like what I've been doing, if you're learning anything, if you feel like you'd like to see more of these videos, please hit the subscribe button, leave me some comments, and I love sharing these things with you. So go and have another wonderful garden adventure.